So, just to give you the story of To Go. Basically started by two students at Wits University. See Ashley and Alan are both sitting at the desk over there. They started a mobile messenger while studying computer science together. They created an application really to share the timetable and the sort of where your next tutorial was, because Ashley, I know, kept missing his classes and needed a way to keep track of it. So what they did was they built a little app to share where the next class was, and pretty much found people in the class and in the standard soon started using this application to share where their next class was, what the marks were, those sort of things. And so they decided, well, this is a pretty good way that we can, they saw that mobile messaging was really going to be the future. People having mobile phones, a very personal device, and wanting to chat with one another. Started experimenting, started a company, and created a mobile messenger to essentially be able to communicate with your friends for free. At the time, SMSs, and still are, pretty expensive. So they started working on an application to allow people to talk to one another. So we're a very small team at the moment. We're 8 people. We haven't had any funding. Very small technical team. We focus very strongly on technical excellence. We've probably done, we've kept very much under the radar. A lot of people here will say To Go, well, who's that? When I present the numbers, it's a massive mobile social network and no one's ever heard of us. People are usually more familiar with Mixit. But that has been the thing, has been a key focus on technical excellence. We have not taken any investment or funding, but a company really growing entirely organically. So let me just describe to you the actual To Go mobile social network. This is a mobile application that allows people to message one another. I've got a couple of screenshots just so that you can get an idea. Principally, there are 2 aspects to the application. It's to allow people to message their friends one to another. And the focus here is on the emerging market. So we target feature phones. We don't have a version for iPhone. That is not because we're neglecting the platform. We're going to embrace it shortly. But the point is here, we're targeting African emerging markets. So we focus particularly on that. Perhaps not a lot of you in the room have ever run To Go. Because of the fact, particularly in our industry, people are waiting for the latest technology always. They're using iPhones. We focus on the African market. So as you can see there, you download the application, it connects you with your friends. We've built in features that make it quite viral in nature. So when you install the application, it goes through your phone book, finds where other friends are, connects them on the network. Now, these are things which we know, we take for granted in applications like WhatsApp. It'll connect you immediately to your friends. This hasn't been done on a J2Me platform or on a sort of feature phone platform. Just sort of correct some terminology because we got a lot of jargon in the industry. Feature phones are phones, color screen and a camera. You can think of it as that. That's pretty much the basic definition of a feature phone. Sits somewhere between your dumb phone and your smartphone. So that's a component that's talking for free, one to another between friends. And then there's another aspect which gives it the social network portion, which is joining chat rooms, chatting to one another. These can be topics ranging from quite sort of flirting and so on, just meeting new people. Others, we have people discussing quite serious topics. We've got single parents there, university students. People do discuss these sort of things, and Mark will share shortly the chat room which we ran for Mandela Day, which gives people are quite interested in a lot of important social questions and so on. So just to discuss the growth, To Go was launched in 2007. Of course, as with all viral networks, it starts off slowly, but very soon we've seen this sort of growth. Growth really started to pick up halfway through 2009. At the moment we have 20 million users and we're growing by 50,000 users a day. Now those are quite impressive numbers given that most people never heard from us. The brand is certainly not known. We have our more famous competitor, let's say, as in Mixit, everyone will know. We have pretty impressive numbers, but the majority of our users are, of course, in the rest of Africa, not in South Africa. So to give you an idea of exactly the composition of our network, we have 20 million users in total, and Nigeria probably sometime during 2010 became a significant portion of our user base. 13 million Nigerians, 6 million South Africans, a million Kenyans, and then we have, of course, representation in all other countries, but those are the most important numbers. The age demographic is principally male, and this is, you'll often see in social networks in the rest of Africa, there's usually a male skewed demographic, or it's a skewed demographic towards males. But you can see the median age there, 21, 22, 23, that's sort of the demographic we talk to. Just to go through being a marketing company, of course, we have to go through the particular ways in which we reach our audience. So we really have three things. We have full screen clickable adverts, we have sponsored chat rooms, and then we have Go Friends. Now Go Friends is a way where we're trying to bring in the concept of Facebook, keeping in mind that to Go brings you the very basic elements of a Facebook kind of experience. We allow brands to friend the users which we have on the network. So typically what we do is we poll these brands up front, we poll the users up front and say, are you interested in hearing from a certain brand? That could be an NGO, it could be a company. They can request, they can opt in for the service and become a friend of the brand. The brand can then talk to them on an ongoing basis. Here's a couple of examples of brands that we've worked on. These are full color splash screens. When the user launches the application, they will see an image for 5 to 7 seconds on the screen. Those can click through to a Mobi site of the advertiser's choosing. But of course, these are things that are quite well known to all of us, and normal display on whether it's a browser or mobile phones is quite well known. And what we're trying to do is become more familiar with our users so that we can engage them in more meaningful ways. It's not just advertising. Of course, everything's talking about brand engagement and how exactly brands can talk to their users. So we ran a couple of polls just to find out. We've started to want to see exactly what our users are doing as opposed to something as raw as LSM measures. And we put this through to a couple of our users just to get a better idea of where they sit. Now we have a tool in the application that when the user logs on, there is a poll that appears on their friends list. It's targeted towards a certain demographic, so we can target people between certain ages. In regions, we can target them down to city level and pose a question to them with a closed set response to say, do you favor A or B or C, and they can poll on that immediately. So these are a couple of polls which we ran in the last couple of days. Of course, they run very quickly, given that we have at any one time 700,000 people on the network at any one time. We can poll them immediately and get very quick answers to questions which we may have. So this was one we ran just to give a sense of what our users are thinking. If you won 2,500 Rand in a lottery, what would you spend it on? And these were the results we got, which is quite surprising given that most people would actually opt to save it. We speculated beforehand on perhaps what people would do. We actually thought a new cell phone might be the most, something that someone would do with the money. We found people particularly looking to save the money. We asked them, is sex before marriage okay? Now the target demographic here was 18 to 30-year-olds, sorry, 16 to 30-year-olds. So what we can do is, of course, go into this and say, well, what did females feel? What did males feel about that? What were then the specific regions? These were run strictly against South Africa. So we could obviously further subdivide this, and in fact, it would have been nice to present the figures that just go on. And of course, the topical one at the moment, should Julius Malema become president? I thought actually not sure would be far larger than that. But the interesting thing, of course, with these things is we can run the polls quite quickly. We can, these, for instance, were done this afternoon, and pretty much within a half an hour, these were polled against 10,000 respondents. Now, what we did, of course, just to keep it in line with Mandela Day, and was we ran a poll just asking users how they felt about Mandela Day, how they felt that their time should be spent. And Mark's just going to take you through some of the options. It's a poll that he ran during the course of this week.
Yeah, so in the last couple of days and weeks, we've been working on what the company mission is. And we came out, this is an abbreviated version, but we all want to try and do something with the platform to enrich people's lives. And with Mandela Day coming about, we thought, it's a great opportunity to try and actually put our mission to work. And we'll just quickly go through this. So what we asked first was, what will you do to make a difference on Mandela Day? And this is how many people we asked. So we asked them, we ran the poll on Monday morning. This is purely South Africa. And we targeted 450,000 users. And we finished the poll on Tuesday evening. So 450,000 people received the message in their friends list. And we received almost about 100,000 people who responded to the poll. So just give you a sense on how engaged users are in the with the platform. And we see sort of similar types of responses from even on sort of advertising campaigns that we run. Anyway, so this was sort of some of the. We just put this into a Wordle. This is some of the key messages that came out. We'll give you a sense of our user base. It's just like a really cool way to get insight into who our users are. So it's a very different demographic from who we are. Okay, so then these were some of the, when we asked people, what will they do to make a difference on Mandela Day. These are just some of the cool responses that we got. I don't know if anyone wants translation of that, but it's a combination of who the demographic is and how people write quickly on the service. Give what I have, which I no longer use, to those who don't have food or even clothes. By assisting orphans. Donate money to a family whose shack burned out. Happy birthday, Tata, we love you. How can I make it? And you actually see this through the network quite a lot. So, I mean, we're looking into people's lives, and we're really privileged to be able to see how people use their lives, or how people live their lives. It's also my birthday. Donate blood, which was a big one. I want a job. I still need someone to make a difference in mine. Giving soup and bread to the homeless. Together we can do more. So there were about 100,000 of these answers. I just took a few out of them. And then what we did was, as trying to live our mission, we said we're going to take part of the proceeds from activity in our chat rooms and donate them to a Nelson Mandela charity. So we essentially asked a user base again. We asked about 385,000 users which charity they would want us to give the money to. And this was done in one day, essentially, and purely in South Africa. So we got the responses back in one day from about 150,000 people, and clearly the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital went out. And that's, so we're going to be donating some of the proceeds from our revenue to them.
This is the next exciting thing which we're looking at, which we think is going to be huge, really huge. It's another mobile social network. It's more personal. We launched it on Sunday, was it? Saturday night we've launched it. So, to go about anonymous chatting, it's about talking to, making up a username, meeting people. It's very much an alter ego kind of application, right? Because there's no real name. Facebook brought us these things. It brought us a real identity online and the ability to share with your real friends, manage your acquaintances, share party pictures and so on. And we need to bring that sort of thing to the feature phone market. So for people who don't have iPhones, for people who have Blackberries and mid-level Nokias. So we've worked probably for about the last 2 years on creating a new mobile social network. These are the numbers. Sorry, it doesn't really fit on there particularly well. 83,000 downloads, we have 35,000 signups. I'm not sure how many per day at the moment. These are all the people from countries all over, because what we do is people see it, they can invite their friends invite their friends, and so on and so on and so on. And yeah, it's quite a new thing. All welcome to try and use it. It's something new that we're quite excited about. This is refreshing every 10 seconds or so. As people are signing up, we've already released a new version fixing bugs and so on, and addressing a whole lot of other things. And we think this is going to be quite a challenging and quite a successful African story for an upcoming mobile social network. So keep watching here. It's literally a week old, and you're going to start hearing a lot about it very soon. That's about it. Thanks very much.